Hello there, I'm your host Dan Rojas. In this video I am going to be showing you how to cut a perfect circle out of cardboard. I've showed you how to do it out of wood using a table saw. This is simple. There will be a solar application as to why you'd want circles. I'm also going to be showing you how to make a pyramid like this one. This is called the tetrahedron. It has four faces that are all identical. So it's not like a pyramid that has a square bottom. They're all identical. They sit like this. This will also have a solar application in future videos. All you need for this project is a square and a measuring device like this ruler. Doesn't have to be this big. You also need a very sharp cutting knife. Now the surface that I'm using is cardboard. What I'm going to be doing is using this extra piece of cardboard that we have. Most important thing is that you have a straight edge. You can just cut it. It doesn't really matter the angle right now. So I'm going to assume that you don't have a nice straight box. Nice and clean, just like that. So we have a perfectly straight edge right there. Once you do that, you need to decide how long you want these edges to be here. We're going to be doing one that is 7 inches all the way around. In order to do that, you have to double that number. We're going to put a mark with our ruler. And then we're going to come over here to 14 inches. That is exactly doubling it. You're also going to go right to the center and put a mark at 7 inches, just like that. So you've got 3 marks there. Now you're going to take your square, and if you're doing a really big triangle, you can do this little trick. All you have to do is take your straight edge and line it up to there. That's why it's important for this one end to be squared. So I'm going to be drawing this line really dark. You don't have to do it like this dark. I'm just doing this so you can see it on camera. So that is our halfway point. So we have start in, these are 14, 7, 14. Now all you do is take your straight edge and you find the number 14 on there. It's right here. You're going to put it right over that dot, exactly over it. And then what you want to do is line this one up right to the point, up to the very top. So we're 14 and we go all the way up to the top. Before you take your cut, you want to mark your 7-inch mark right there. That's your halfway point. Now you take a very sharp X-Acto knife. We've got this lined up. They're lined up perfect. And you make a cut. Because it's 14 inches, it has to be correct. We're going to come over here and do the same thing. I'm going to put this one on the edge. This time I'm going to come up and meet it. And if you look, it meets right at these two. All you really have to do is now line these two up. So I'm going to go ahead and come over this way so I'm not in your way when I cut. But you just line up your 2 points that you just did. And carefully make a cut. Now before you do this cut, by the way, it's important to find the center point here too. So we're going to come over here and mark this 7. You want to do it to the inside, that way it's there. Once you have that done, you have a triangle that breaks free like that. See that nice triangle I made? You have your 2 points there. All you have to do now is simply take your ruler, line these 2 points up. The more precise you are, the better your results will be. You do not cut all the way through with this. You give it a light score. That light score allows you to bend it, and if you did it right, it should come down and meet exactly to there. If you notice, you've got a perfect triangle that matches these shapes. Okay, now all you have to do in order to finish your job is take this ruler, line it up to this point, and hit that right at the edge of that line that you just did. And you're going to score this as well. You're not going to cut all the way through. Just a nice score. And you're going to take it and you're going to line this one and this one. And we're going to score that. And if you did it correctly, you should have something that looks like this. You take these and flip them around, you have yourself a nice pyramid. You can glue these together like I did, or whatever you want to do. What we're going to be doing when we use them for solar is we're going to be lining this with mirror, and this is going to act as a sort of a light gatherer for this point down here. I'll explain that in a future video. Now we're going to move on to the circle. The nice thing about the circle that we're going to be making is that there is a center point that is perfectly balanced, so it allows you, I'm going to write some garble there so you can see that this is spinning. It allows you to have a nice, well-balanced circle. You can make a flywheel out of cardboard for a school project. In order to do this, you need a surface that you can drill into. Simple wooden table. I like to have several layers of cardboard. We just replace these. I'll use them for packaging, recycle them. What you're gonna need is a scrap piece of cardboard like this, long. So you wanna cut this the length. You want the flutes going down. You don't wanna cut it a long piece like this because these flutes will fold on you. Once you have these, most rulers are 2 inches across, like right there. So you just take that and you're gonna make a cut so that you have a piece of cardboard. 2 inches wide seems to work because it doesn't fold on you. If you have a square object like this and you want to maximize the circle, all you have to do is draw a line from corner to corner on each side, and where they meet up will give you the perfect center. You don't have to do this if your circle is considerably smaller than the piece that you're using, but that's just one way to do it. This is a scrap piece. Here's where it's helpful to be able to drill into your table. I am going to make a 14-inch diameter circle. This piece doesn't really matter where you put it, as long as you have enough to cover 14 inches, 7 inches out. You don't want a piece that's folded like this. If you get that, don't use that. Work away from that piece. So we're going to be working over here where it's nice and straight. We need a 14-inch diameter circle. You put your ruler, cut it in half. 14, half of 14 is 7. Put the 7 right on the X of that screw. Go right to the end, and you want to have a very sharp knife when you do this. Always do that away from your face, or wear goggles when you do it. You take your knife, and at an angle, you stab it in, just like that. So we're stabbed into there. You can put tape here, but I use screws, that way I don't waste tape. You want to screw down your cardboard in the areas that are not going to be affected by the circle. This prevents this from moving. You pull on the cardboard and the knife simultaneously. You want to make sure you go through all the layers. And if you did it right, this should just pop right out when we remove the screw. And we have a perfect circle right there. I'm going to jam the drill in the middle. It's pretty well balanced too. You can use the same technique if you want to make fun things for kids to throw footballs to at birthday parties or whatever you would need an empty circle like this for. This is the easiest way to cut a cardboard circle. You can cut them any size you want. The smaller they go, it's a little bit trickier because the blade, of course, moves in. But you can use the same piece of cardboard over and over and over. You can actually use it to notch rings out of things. A little more complicated, but for right now, we have made these two objects. I'm your host, Dan Rojas. Thank you for watching, and enjoy our videos.